Hello and welcome to the video. Thank you very much for clicking. I'm with Grey Duncan today.
Hi.
This video we're going to cover knives and axes and ferro rods and a little bit about gear, where to get it, where to source it, and what should you go, expensive or cheap. But at the end of the day, regardless what we say, it's completely down to you. It's down to what you want to get out of it, and it's down to the experiences you want to have. So if you got a big pocket and you want to spend the money and look good with nice knives and nice expensive axes, then that's completely down to you.
Okay, if you're new and you're starting off, probably one of the best knives I'd recommend for a newbie or anybody, in fact, is the Mora. Now the Mora knives, they come in a couple of different configurations. You get the high Q, the carbon steel ones, stainless steel ones, and you can get the Mora Bushcraft knife, which is quite expensive really. Well, it's not expensive, it's about 50 or 60 quid. However, the basic Mora comes in less than a tenner, I think.
Yeah,
less than a tenner.
I think the one you got there, I paid about £9 odd for it.
£9 odd. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, bright orange. Okay, it's not. This is Alex's knife. It's not my choice of colours. However, orange, you drop it somewhere, it's high vis, it's visible. You're not going to lose this thing easily. Whereas with mine, all in black sheaths and that, you probably will lose them easily. Okay, so it's high vis. Okay, safety.
And to be honest with you, that's not the reason I bought it.
Is it
the
not?
only reason I bought that in that colour was because it was on a special, and it cost me £9.50.
£9.50.
So why not? And it won't get lost as well if I drop it, like Gray said. So there you go.
Okay. The only thing with the Moras is there's a few videos that are hanging about with people battening these things and they break the handle. I tend to think they're doing it wrong in fairness. When they're battening, they're putting all the pressure on the handle instead of actually just using the handle to keep it steady while they're like impacting on the spine of the blade, which will put pressure on the handle and will eventually probably snap the handle off, as they're not a full tang knife. However, they are a Scandi grind, which is superb all-rounder for bushcraft and field work. They come in stainless steel and they also come in high carbon steel. The high carbon steel I prefer because you can actually use the spine of the knife with a piece of flint to produce sparks to make a fire.
Exactly. The only problem is that you will have to do a hack on the knife itself.
You will have to straighten up the spine. Yeah. The blade, as it's not really a true 90 degrees.
No.
And for safety reasons, more around off the edges there. And they do that, so if you're using the knife with your thumb and you're carving things like that, you're not going to hurt yourself. However, if you file off flat, so it's true 90 degrees angle there, it's absolutely perfect for ferro rod. It's perfect for making shavings on pieces of wood with the spine of the knife. And it's not going to be sharp enough that if you are using your thumb, it'll cut you. Okay, so I prefer the carbon steel version for that reason. It needs a little bit more maintenance because it rusts. Okay, it's not stainless steel, it rusts. Okay, so you have to make sure you keep it dry. I oil mine with coconut oil, a little smear of coconut oil. You can use algae, you can use Vaseline or any kind of oil that takes your fancy. Okay, so the Mora knife, highly recommend it. Cheap as chips, fantastic bit of kit, really, really good.
And just to emphasize something, we're not trying to advertise the Mora knife, and we're not trying to sort of get you to buy the Mora knife. The only reason we're using the Mora knife as an example is because it's a cheap knife and it's readily available to anybody. So basically, you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. Now, for example, the knife I carry was a custom blade that I had made for me. I chose the name of the knife and it was branded as a kudu, which is a buck in Africa. And it's made from RW34, RWL34, which is a super steel, but obviously you pay for this and it's something I wanted, so it's a personal thing. So you don't need to go and buy something really expensive where you can spend £9.50, £10, £12 for something that's going to do you.
Absolutely. There are cheaper versions of this. Like, I'm a big fan of a company called Hultafors. Again, no connection. I like Hultafors stuff. It's as well made as the Mora. It's only half the price of the Mora, and they do axes and things like that, which are really, really reasonably priced, but fantastic quality, in my opinion. Don't forget, guys, this is just my opinion. Now, I have here a Hultafors, okay? It's very similar to a Mora. This is the heavy duty Hultafors. Now, this has been through the wars. When I take it out of its sheath, you're going to look at it and go, Jesus, the state of that knife.
But that's the thing about these knives. They're working knives.
That's it.
They're not show knives.
That's it. You're not afraid. You know, I think this cost me £4, brand new, £4.50, something like that. It's not a £300 knife. You know, you're not afraid of taking it down. You're not afraid of beasting it and hitting it with lumps of wood and battening it and putting it through its paces. You're not afraid of that.
You think about it, the knife that you're carrying there, which is a custom-made knife, are you actually going to put that custom-made knife through the paces like you do that one?
Okay, this is my custom-made my custom-made knife. Now, I do actually put my knives through the paces. My knives, they're tools, and they get worked. They get beasted. I paid a lot of money for this knife. It's RWL34, super steel, same as Alex's. It's like a classic nest book shape. It's a lot thicker than a Nessie. It's got a scanty grind.
4 mil thick.
Yeah, it's 4 mil.
Yeah,
it's 4 mil. It's got a scanty grind, so it's a great all-rounder, and it's great for chopping, and it's great for everything. It's my preferred shape. I get on with this shape of knife. That doesn't mean to say you have to go out and buy a Nesmuck.
Exactly.
It's just my opinion and how I feel about knives. It's my go-to blade. Okay, but as I say, you don't have to go out and spend £200 or £300 on a knife. £4.50, fantastic. Now, as I said, when I take this out, okay, it gets put through its paces.
That looks like it's been in World War II, to be honest with you. Well, but it still goes.
In fairness, it's about 10 years old, and it's absolutely razor sharp. It's carbon steel, and it gets used for everything: carving, skinning, prepping wood, firewood, you name it, that gets used for it. £4.50, years old, and it's dirty and it's black and it's filthy, but it's razor sharp and the edge is perfect on it. This originally came as a hollow grind, which I wasn't a big fan of, so I reprofiled it with a diamond file, believe it or not, in a vise. Put a Scandi on it. Wasn't hard, and perfect. £4.50. Okay, so there's loads of different options out there. You've got the Moras, which are great, fantastic. You've got likes of Hultafors. Hultafors also do a range of axes.
That's another thing I wanted to cover, because axes, the price of axes these days.
Right.
And there's no need for it, is there?
No, you can. How much do you pay for a Husqvarna type knife or axe? A lot of money, when probably Hultafors average about half the price of them. Even so, you know, you're looking at about £30 or so for a quite large.
Well, that's reasonable, £30. Because you're normally looking at about 50 upwards, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the finished steel, and they're all good. Whereas I think the Husqvarna ones, I think they're about 60 quid upwards.
Well, you know what? A couple of weeks ago, we actually went to do a camp, and what did you lose?
I lost my baby, gutted about it. My little tiny trekking axe, a Hultafors one.
A Hultafors one trekking axe.
And it was about 60 quid. So I hate to think how much the Husqvarna one was, but 60 quid gone down the drain.
And it's easily done.
And I'm gutted.
So easily done.
I'm gutted.
Yeah.
So on the back of that, I said, you know, I'm not going to go out and spend £60 on an axe ever again. So what I did, I went to a car boot sale, and I bought an axe, and I think I paid about £1.50 for this axe. It's a cheap axe. It was all painted red and all that kind of stuff. So a little bit of work, cleans it up, sanded all the red paint off it, cleans it up, scorched the handle and beeswaxed it, and this is what I'm left with. Now it's got for the size of it, it's got a heavy head. It's about £2. In fact, it is a £2 head in weight. It was made in West Germany. Good, really, really good steel. Absolutely razor sharp. You can virtually shave with this axe, and it took 10 minutes to put an edge on it, and it holds its edge. It's been through its paces today, cutting firewood. It's £1.50.
There you go, £1.50 for axe, reprofiled, recleaned, and sorted out, and it's absolutely brilliant axe. And this is what we're saying. You can go on eBay, you can go on Amazon. Market's absolutely brilliant, and you find really old axes and knives and all sorts of gear that you find out there, and it's you know what? It's a journey and it's an experience for you to go and fix it up, a little bit of work on it, and you got yourself a cracking axe. There's no point in going and buying this massive, beautiful axe or a custom-made knife that's gonna make you look good, but you're gonna be spending a lot of money. For what we do, these are tools and they get put through the paces. It's not always worthwhile having to buy expensive gear.
No, I don't buy tools to put in a drawer and show people how nice they look. All right, that, to me, that's a waste of time. I'm not a collector. Right? I'm a survivalist. I'm not, you know, I don't do the bushcraft. I'm a survivalist. My tools are bought for a reason. They get used, and they get used heavily. Gutted over me 60 quid axe. Do you think I'd be gutted if I lost this one for £1.50 and an hour's work?
Not really.
I'm not going to be, am I?
No.
You know, I just go out and buy another one and put another hour's work into it for £1.50. And for £1.50, that's probably going to outlast me. That'll live longer than I'm going to live. So what I'm saying basically is bushcraft doesn't have to be expensive.
Neither does wild camping.
Exactly. You don't have to, you know, or survivalists, survivals, it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to go out and buy all the top of the range gear because it's fashionable. Because that's basically, in my opinion, I know there's going to be a lot of people who argue who don't agree with this, but in my opinion, it's the fashion. It's fashionable.
Yeah.
You know, it's fashionable to go out and buy like £100 or 80 quid axe, and why? Why would you do that? Right?
Well, we all fall into that trap. Believe it or not, we all fall into that trap. And basically what we're doing here is giving you our experiences, right? Because we fell into that trap. We fell into the trap of buying expensive gear and branded gear and so forth. There's no need for it. So we made that mistake. There's no need for you to make that mistake. So just remember, when you're looking at knives and axes, look at practicality. Look at what the knife can do. So you don't want a knife that you cannot chop with, and you don't want a knife that you can't use a ferro rod on, right? And that's the next step as well, is there ferro rods. Now ferro rod, you don't have to have a fancy handle and all sorts. I mean, I've got a beast of a ferro rod, which is that one there, and I made my handle myself. I do ferro rod handles and so forth for people and friends and so on. So I made it myself, but that's a massive one. All you need really is a ferro rod with a hole drilled in it and a lanyard. That's all you need. So if you're going out and looking for ferro rods, eBay, Amazon, they do some cheap ferro rods as well. Your standard ferro rod is about 100 mil long by 8 or 10 mil. That's okay. You can get the pocket size ferro rods, and they're brilliant as well. These big ferro rods, as much as they're nice, they are a bit harder to use because of the length on them and the grip. So I tend to hold it like that, not actually on the handle. So guys, yeah, don't be going out spending too much money on gear. And in this video we covered knives, axes and ferro rods, and we will try and cover some more in different videos about wild camping and so forth.
Yeah, about expensive equipment versus cheap equipment, top of the range, top name equipment versus the likes of military surplus, and the pros and cons.
Oh, military surplus, that's a name I love.
Okay.
That's you know what, the gear is so good, and you can get bargains and you can get such good gear. Military surplus,
absolutely,
it's well worth looking into if you're starting out wild camping.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's a company in particular who I deal with a lot, who I've dealt with for a long time. Not ashamed of plugging them. It's Dave and Paul from Military Mart. Military Mart, look him up. Awesome place. If you go to the shop, make sure you got a ton of cash with you, because it's like a child walking into Santa's grotto. It's just fantastic place. Prices are really competitive. The stuff is top quality. They do actually grade the stuff that they sell, so you can buy stuff cheaper. If you're a little bit handy and you can do a little bit of work, you can buy stuff cheaper and fix it up a little bit yourself, or you can buy the top grade stuff.
And just remember, if you do go in, just the same rule applies. You don't need everything.
No, of course not.
Be selective of what you're going to buy.
Although it's hard to do that in military mart.
It is hard to do that.
It's hard
yes,
to do that in military mart.
But you know, do try and be selective, and don't go out and buying all sorts of gear that you can store away at home, keep there and not use. Don't take everything we say as set in stone. This is purely our opinion. So up here, there's another video that we'll be covering some more on wild camping gear and bushcraft gear, but there's so much that we cannot cover everything in one video, and sometimes we might rumble a bit too long about something, but that is just purely because of the passion that we have for wild camping and bushcraft.